Welcome everyone to the 1st of April 2020's meeting for CNAB. Do we have any new people who would like to introduce themselves? I don't see any, but maybe somebody would like to reintroduce themselves. No, we're good. Okay, then the first topic is Glyn's declarative support, declarative installation support 358 on the spec. So Glyn.
You may remember that last time we discussed, sorry for my hoarse voice, we discussed making invocation images optional and some of the effects on the spec that would have. And it seemed that it was going to essentially bifurcate the spec. We'd have a kind of small subset, which would be like a packaging spec, but any bundles of that form wouldn't be admissible to standard runtimes. And so I've been mulling this over and decided that it's just too much violence to the spec and we shouldn't proceed. So essentially we're not going to go with that. We're not going to drop the declarative installation support issue for now. If anyone else wants to reopen it in the future, that's fine. And we probably won't be using CNAB therefore for our Kubernetes stuff. But we've got some similar things going on. We may be able to reconverge in the future.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys have built and you know how it relates. I think that'll be super interesting.
Okay, I'll put a link in the notes to the thing we're currently playing with.
And look forward to seeing it. I do also want to say thank you so much for working as hard as you can with all of us to try and figure out exactly where things should land, which is always an issue. Everybody's moving forward and everybody's collaborating at the same time, and those are always, you know, interesting balances to make. So I do want to thank you all for trying as hard as you can to make sure everything could work at this point in time, and hopefully we all make in our respective areas enough progress that there's a way to kind of find our way back together as well, since we're all trying to do the same thing for the world in a coherent and shareable way. So thanks for all your effort.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would echo that. Also, it kicked off a bunch of interesting conversations, if nothing else. So, you know, it's got everybody thinking about a bunch of different things and retesting ideas and whatnot. So that's always super useful. All right. Anything else on that agenda item, or should we move on to the next one? All right, moving on. I'm taking silence as agreement. Right, there's a couple of PRs that need reviews. There's one about splitting the claim and result into separate documents, number 349, and add schema validation to cnab-go. I guess the first one, 349, is yours, Matt?
Carolyn's.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
fine. I decided, you know, it's been out for a while, but the latest change that we made that we were kind of hung up on was that we wanted a way, after splitting the claim, which has become the inputs into an action that we're executing, and the result, which is the outputs, which includes the success or failure of the status of the action. We needed a way for the result to be able to refer back to the claim properly. And one thing we were hung up on is that depending on what type of action you were executing, one that modifies the bundle resources or not, he didn't have a proper way to do that because the revision isn't always bumped. And then we were like, well, what if we just always bump the revision? So the latest change to that PR, because like I said, it's been open for a couple weeks, is that we just every time you execute an action, the runtime has the option of bumping the revision, even if it's not a modifying action. And that would allow them to keep results around for non-modifying actions and then just keep more extensive audit history. And then otherwise, it's the same assurance as before. For any action that modifies a bundle, we're always keeping the claim and its result around. So for tools that don't want to keep all full history and just want to keep the last result, it looks exactly the same. But for someone who wants to keep every single action that occurred potentially and what it looked like, including potentially like multiple execution tries, we'd have enough information to do it and have unique identifying information. So if you just take a look at that last commit, that's really the one that I think may be the most contentious if you were really relying on revision to have specific meaning about the bundle resources being modified.
I just opened it and I see you've got 3 LGTMs with the green magic tick. So I guess this is just a notification that we will merge it. Maybe Jacob, I saw you commented on it, so maybe you've got some extra stuff to add. But
yeah, I didn't see the last update yet, so I would love the chance to review this first. We're building something out right now that doesn't bump the revision, but does still let you track every action that's executed. It also comes with some kind of interesting properties where you can like avoid locking actions against an installation if they are modifies false and stateless false, or like prevent new modifies true actions from running while stateless false actions are running against an older current revision. So like actually being able to run multiple operations against the same revision when some are stateless are pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're definitely holding this open until we get your feedback. So yeah,
as long as it's optional, then but I'll give it a review.
Yeah, it is an optional thing. It's a may in the spec.
Yeah. Thanks.
okay, and then the next issue was the 188 on cnab-go. And this time I'm going to check who actually put it up. I just knew that Matt had been working on the claims. Sorry, Carolyn. This is Vaughn.
Yeah, that's me. Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of a sample implementation of schema validation from CNAB-spec. Now that we are publishing, or we have the CI to publish schemas off of tags in CNAB-spec, and that's the link I just dropped. This is like a sample implementation in cnab-go, probably our most used shared library. And just ready for review. Sylvan had some great feedback, and I think I've addressed it all. So that's about it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Vaughn. If you need to review from Sylvan, just ping him on the CNAB channel. He's looking after his kids this evening, so he can't join us. Okay, let me just put up the agenda again. The final item on the agenda is, I probably have to refresh my page because I know how this goes, but update active checks required for merging, validation, and cnab-spec-validate. Radu?
Yeah, that was my question. It's a small thing. Right now, if you're trying to merge a PR on the cnab-spec, there are 2 required checks, one of which is called a validation, and the second one, cnab-spec-validate. And from my understanding, they refer to the same actual check, but somehow both of them ended up there, and I'm not exactly sure which one is supposed to be green before merging. And I think Vaughn may have some info on this.
Yeah, the latter is the new check, and that actually changed in that same CIPR 350. And so older PRs that were created before that 350 was merged will still kind of be in limbo if they're not rebased off master. But once they're rebased against master, the settings for that repo are updated now to only require the cnab-spec-validate check. So just kind of an interim situation there.
So the action item here for anyone who has an open PR before merging would be to rebase against master, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Well, that brings us to the end of the agenda. Is there anything else anybody would like to bring up? This may be our fastest meeting of all time.
Well done, Chris.
I don't think it was me. I think it was another
no,
very
it-
contentious
no, no,
agenda.
No, it's crone leadership. That's what that is.
We knew you had it in you.
Crush dissent. No, don't discuss anything that's difficult. Just easy PRs that already have reviews. That's the best one, the best kind. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well then, thank you everyone. I hope everybody has. Oh, any security updates? We can ask Radu about that. Or Shashank.
Good question. I don't think there's anything terribly new since last week, although we're planning to meet. Oh, hearing an echo. Although we're planning to meet again soon to discuss something that Jacob has in mind for use at Datadog. That's it, really. Oh, another thing I should mention is that there's a couple of PRs out that are still, they have been approved, but they haven't been merged. So I'm just wondering what I need to do. I'll post.
Yeah, the PRs on the CNAB-spec haven't been merged yet, just because I wasn't exactly sure what I was supposed to do with waiting for validation. So now that we know that, we can the PRs that have already been approved, which I think it's the case for both PRs that you have open against the security spec, just rebase them, and I think we can merge them. Mainly because it's still in draft, and we can still merge things as we want.
Okay,
right now.
cool. I don't have permission, so maybe if you can do it, that'd be great. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Given that we finish this early, the main meeting, do you and Jacob want to stick around to chat about the use case you were mentioning, not requiring everybody else to stay around?
That's actually a good idea. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, then I'll add the registry spec stuff. That's still going along slowly. I'm hoping we'll have most of the areas done soon, so we can put up a PR and start getting feedback, and then we can merge it into the spec. At the moment, it's still in the HackMD. Radu will probably provide us a link where I can drop one in if I can find mine. Yep, that's all I had on that.
Do we want, Chris, do you want to have a draft pull request sooner rather than later with the changes we have in the HackMD? Do you think it would give people a better chance to comment and have visibility rather than HackMD? What do you think?
Yes, I think it would probably just be good to, let me just check what we're missing. Actually, it looks like we filled in most of the bits. There's only the on-disk representation bit that hasn't been fleshed out, but that's something we don't actually support yet. So we can start with what we have, I think, and then we can, that's not a bad idea. It looks like it's complete enough, I think, now.
Okay, I can open a draft pull request until next meeting.
That's good for me. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, anything else? No. Okay, well then, yeah, thanks everyone.
I have one issue.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have many issues, but my one issue is everybody keep staying safe.
Yeah, I was going to say we've been lucky so far. I think in that our industry has been, I think a lot of us actually work from home as is, so we've been quite lucky that we're well adapted to this. But it's definitely a trying time. Yeah, and I'm thankful that this community is particularly supportive of each other. It's definitely a nice meeting to come to every week. So thank you everyone for making it that way.
Great, take care.
All right, cool. Yeah, thanks everyone. See you
in a couple of weeks.
Cool. Okay. Jacob, you there? There we go. You're yeah.
Yeah, can we pause recording?
This, I have no idea whether we have permissions to stop recording on this meeting, but I think we can provide a new meeting link.
Yeah, let's do a new meeting link. I'll send it out.
Okay.
See you guys in a minute.